Welcome to Techin5, where you can get your tech news in 5 minutes. I'm Madeline.
And I'm Christina. This is your weekly download.
So, Christina, to kick off from what we did last week talking about tech spend, we have a couple little rules on what you should think of when you're doing your technology spending. So, I'm going to kick it off right away because we got 8 of them. So, we want to make sure we cover all of it. So, the first one we're going to talk about is establishing a realistic budget. You want to make sure you know what you're going into when you're looking for technology, and not just how much you want to spend, but also what's the maximum amount, because you want to know if somebody's offering you for 25,000, is that a good price for that? But also, if you're budgeting 45, is that the right number in general? So you really want to think about what you're doing when you're setting that budget, and be as realistic as possible. Research, research, research.
Absolutely. And that leads right into your second topic, which is perform product research before beginning any project. And that will include anything from looking at doing research on the pricing for a particular solution you might be looking for, look at competitors, look at product longevity, take a look at as many points as possible that have to do with the project that you're evaluating. So take a lot of time to ask a lot of questions, talk to a variety of different vendors who offer the similar or the same solution so that you can make sure that you are setting an appropriate budget, but also eventually choosing the right product.
Number 3 is about looking for the strengths and weaknesses. When you're looking at these products and you're looking at these different vendors, you want to make sure you list it out. What is the features that are associated with this product? What is the implementation? What is the difficulty of implementing it? As well as what is the support options? A lot of these technologies, we're talking Microsoft, right? They have these supports options that last for a certain period of time if they come out with a new technology, which is why we're all not running on Windows 95 anymore, right? So you want to make sure that you know what that strength is of that product and what that weakness is.
Absolutely. And since we're not running on XP or 95 anymore, hopefully, what we're doing is actually point number 4, planning for the future. And that is simply understanding that everything that you choose and implement, whether it's hardware or software or a process, is eventually going to be something that your business is going to outgrow or need to replace. Therefore, you want to be able to look at your project and evaluate all of these points that we mentioned before and how they fit in with your future plans. So that means talking about what needs are being met today, but also how is your business going to be changing towards the future. There's so many different ways, but what does the future look like for your business, and how does the technology that you're evaluating today fit in with your future plans?
Exactly. And as you're looking at your future plans, going back to that money point, number 5 is make sure you're budgeting it for any upfront implementation cost or any cost that might happen afterward. A lot of people want to say that the cloud is the cheaper option in comparison to keeping on database. That is true, but not right in the beginning, because there's a point where you're still on your server, but you're also trying to implement to the cloud, and that process takes time. So be aware that although there might be saving money in the long term, look at what that cost is going to be right in the beginning, because you want to be prepared for that and not be scared when these bills come in.
Exactly. Which leads into point number 6, is preparing for the future. And that includes also establishing a reasonable timeline for your project. So choosing your solution, whatever it is that you're looking at, you also want to make sure that you factor in enough time to plan, prepare, pre-launch, launch, and support and go live afterwards. So you want to cover in all of that. That takes a lot of time, especially if your key personnel in your business or your organization are part of this particular project. So you have to factor in the time of the decision makers, the key stakeholders who are involved in the project, the implementation process itself, and all of the unexpected eventualities that sometimes and usually pop up during a project.
And when you have a lot of stakeholders, they might have a lot of different ideas of what technology you should use. So point number 7 is to make sure you know what your product maturity is. So I know it's really hard not to see something really cool and shiny and go, yes, I want that. But you want to make sure that product is actually going to meet your needs. Is it something that's going to be hitting an industry standard that's out there for you? Because you don't want to be applying the wrong product if you're in a totally different field. And so you also want to make sure that that longevity of that product means that it's not going to be gone in a few years. Has it been something that it's a new startup, they've got a great idea and it's getting a lot of buzz, but in a few years, it's going to be gone and you're going to have to do this all over again. So you want to make sure you keep track of and know how long that product has been out on the market and what it's doing.
Absolutely. And so with all of these things to keep in mind, it can be confusing and time consuming to keep track of all of these points of evaluation, these variables within a project. So point number 8 is choose a qualified partner to work with. That can be a consultant who's going to help you navigate the many options and solutions that are available to you, but it can also be somebody who's really savvy about best practices within certain niches or service lines or industries. Working with the right partner will help you feel a lot more confident that the technology that you ultimately choose actually fits in with your business where it is now and where it's going to be in the future.
That's right. So
Yes,
there's our top 8 things as to what you should be considering with your tech budget. And we hope you like and subscribe and follow us for more videos, because there'll be a lot more things that are coming out in technology. We'll make sure you're on top of them.
absolutely. Thanks so much, Madeline. Appreciate
Thank you,
your
Christina.
insight.
All right. Bye.
Bye.